Welcome to the ESOP minicast. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Bret Keisling, and as it says on my business cards, I'm a passionate advocate for employee ownership. From April 29th to May 1st, 2024, the NCEO had a sold-out conference in Tampa, Florida. Our friend Jesse Tyler of Hypertherm and the Owner to Owner podcast attended the conference, presented at the conference, and loved the conference. Jesse, welcome to the minicast.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for everything you're doing for employee ownership and for the Owner to Owner podcast, available at www.ownertoownerpodcast.com. Jesse, we're going to take just a couple of minutes today. Can you give us your highlights? I understand you presented at a couple of sessions.
Yeah, I had a total blast. Had a wonderful time at the conference. It was sold out, full of positive energy. The usual cast of characters were there and presenting and learning, and we had a lot of folks that were EO curious, which is really exciting. Some of the sessions had like a dozen or more folks that were here to learn and explore that potential. Yeah, it was great to get to do a couple sessions again this year at the national conference. They had one with crowdsourcing. How do you help workers appreciate ownership? How do you make it real to them if they've got 2 or 3 years of tenure or less? And I'm passionate about this because I work at a manufacturer and I have coworkers that are very open about having a hard time seeing around corners, seeing around calendars to next month, next year. And they come in and we talk about something. If you hang on for 3 to 5 years, it could be amazing. So we did some loud, guided, chaotic crowdsourcing and had a lot of fun. I'll share those ideas back with the community. So that was a fun session. A lot of great questions, a lot of examples shared out from companies that are being successful. And the other session, which was a lot of fun, was with Sargent out of Maine. I interviewed them about their podcast as a podcast. So it was like a Seinfeld episode, a podcast about a podcast. And we had good attendance and great participation and questions. Herb Sargent started a podcast to share company information. How do I reach people at our heavy construction sites? And been doing it for 4 years, and just a remarkable success and a wonderful recipe for the employee ownership community. And he and Sebastian were a lot of fun. So we have their permission to share that episode as an owner to owner episode after they share it out. So we're looking forward to that. A couple key takeaways. I'm a big fan of Jennifer Briggs and her wisdom and calm perspective on the land of ownership, and 2 quotes that really stuck with me where accomplishment builds dignity. Work doesn't build dignity, accomplishment does. And I guess just from a values family, working at a values-based company, the words we speak build the house that we live in. I just love that. I was thinking of, I don't know, framing that one. I just think that was just beautiful. I guess a key thing to add as well is it was fascinating how open the discussion was of different forms of ownership. And so first started going to conferences years ago. ESOPs, maybe the occasional co-op mention, and it's becoming more of the common vernacular to talk about the EO trusts, different formats, and a lot of discussion around acquisition. Went to a couple great sessions around that, and private equity. So that was interesting, and for me, it was exciting.
Jesse, I'm glad you had a great experience. Congratulations to the NCEO. Sold out, 1,900 plus people in Tampa, Florida. Great conference. And a final question for you. You have, last couple of years on the Owner to Owner podcast, you have shared your reflections more fully than we had in the time today. Do you expect to give us an episode in the coming month or so on your reflections from the conference?
Yes, I will. And then we're going to supersize it with a little bit of Technicolor. I went with 3 awesome teammates to their first, from Hypertherm to their first NCEO conference. And so we're going to do a joint episode of Owner to Owner to share out both internally and externally for the curious of what were the highlights of our experience with that. So that's coming soon. And just in closing, got to give a big high five and shout out to Jamie, Megan, Lindsay, Lauren, and the crew. Just an awesome conference. I can see why it sells out, and people there for the first time thought this is what an ownership conference normal would be. And it was great because it's built over the years. And just a closing thing, it was really wonderful. Corey Rosen, I had to leave right at the end of it to catch a flight, but he gave an amazing history of employee ownership from Kelso forward. And it was just amazing. You could hear a pin drop in the room. People were just so fascinated and inspired by it. So yeah, a big high five to the NCEO crew. Very, very well done. A great value of the conferences and the supporting resources.
Well, we also appreciate that the NCO has been very supportive of your podcast. They've come on and talked about it in the ESOP podcast that I host. So well done, the NCEO. We look forward to you continuing to break records with your conferences. Jesse, my friend, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today.
Thanks for amplifying ownership, Bret.
All right. And thank you so much for listening. This is Bret Keisling. Be well.
We'd love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook at EO Podcast Network and on Twitter at ESOP Podcast. This podcast has been produced by Bret Keisling for the EO Podcast Network. Original music composed by Max Keisling. Branding and marketing by Bitsy Plus Design. And I'm Bitsy McCann.